presenting a fun Five Nights at Freddy's adventure with a lighter touch of the holidays. This single sentence from the Steam description of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator is one of the most liberating, misleading statements in modern horror gaming. On its surface, FNAF 6 appears to be a parody, a bait-and-switch Tycoon game that replaces night shifts and jump scares with pizza ovens, sponsorships, and cheerful 8-bit minigames. Yet beneath this festive mask lies the most somber finale and moral explicitity entry in the original Five Nights at Freddy's saga. Released on December 4, 2017, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator is not merely the sixth installment on the franchise, it is a controlled detonation, a narrative execution chamber designed by Scott Cawthon to gather every remaining thread, every lost soul, every murder, every accomplice, and every failure, and end them in one decisive act. Unlike previous entries, FNAF 6 does not ask the player to survive, it asks the player to participate in a lie long enough for justice to occur. The development history of FNAF 6 mirrors its narrative structure. Scott Cawthon publicly claimed he had stopped working on the game, diverting attention toward other projects while his website went dark and displayed static. Teasers appeared and vanished. Images of Freddy holding cake or juggling pizza suggest something harmless, perhaps even comedic. This was not marketing confusion, it was intentional misdirection. Just as Fazbear Entertainment masked horror beneath corporate cheer, Scott masked the final chapter of FNAF beneath the appearance of a novelty game. When FNAF 6 launched without warning, free to download, it echoed the franchise's central idea. The most dangerous things arrive unannounced and smiling. Even the later announcement, the Ultimate Custom Night would be a DLC before becoming its own standalone title, reinforced FNAF 6's role as a narrative endpoint. Everything after it exists because what FNAF 6 ends. The game begins with an 8-bit minigame. Freddy throws pizza at smiling children. It feels nostalgic, harmless, even joyful. This imagery deliberately recalls the earliest FNAF minigames, invoking a time before the player fully understood the scope of the franchise's horror. Then the game glitches. The illusion collapses and the player is dragged into a dark room seated across from a damaged animatronic. Scrap, baby. A cassette tape begins to play. A man calmly instructs you to test her responses. Her eyes follow you. The tape cuts out. She counts down. In seconds, FNAF 6 reveals its true nature. This opening establishes the core thesis of the game. Fazbear-style innocence is always a prelude to violence, and the player is never as safe as they believe. Once the title screen appears, the player is invited to start their own pizzeria. The gameplay loop is deceptively simple. Purchase decorations, animatronics, and attractions that balance atmosphere, entertainment, safety, and profit. But every choice is poisoned. High-profit items carry hidden liability risks, sponsorships inject noise and distractions, cheap attractions invite lawsuits. Animatronics may be hiding something far worse than malfunctioning. FNAF 6 reframes survival horror into ethical horror. You are not running from monsters. You are choosing how much risk you are willing to tolerate for money. This is Fazbear Entertainment's worldview distilled into mechanics. At night, FNAF 6 returns to familiar territory, a doctor office, two vents, and unseen threats. Yet the mechanics are harsher and more symbolic than ever. Silence keeps you safe, but raises the temperature. Noise cools the room, but attracts animatronics. Survival requires balancing self-preservation with exposure. This system mirrors the franchise's larger themes. To remain unnoticed is to suffocate. To act is to draw a danger. There is no correct answer, only delaying consequences. If an animatronic is present, the player must decide whether to shut down systems and hope or continue working and risk being found. This is not about reflexes, it is about endurance. Between nights, the player encounters animatronics abandoned in the alley, Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy, Scrap Trap, which is William Afton, and Lefty. You are given a choice, salvage them or profit, reject them and remain safe. But the choice is another lie. Henry Emily, the voice of the tapes, has already designed the outcome. The salvage process is not about money, it's about containment. Every animatronic you bring inside tightens the wall of the labyrinth and completes your title under paragraph lore. The taser mechanics reinforces the tension, uses its sparing to maintain value or excessively to stay alive. Even here, morality is reduced to resource management. Henry Enemy is the true protagonist of FNAF 6. Unlike William Afton, Henry does not deny responsibility. He admits his role in creating the original animatronics. He admits his failure to protect his daughter, Charlotte. He admits contemplating suicide, but instead of escaping guilt, Henry weaponizes it. Throughout years of investigation, he learns the truth of Remnant, the Scooper, and Afton experiments. He designs Lefty specifically to capture the puppet. He lures every remaining corrupted animatronic into one place under the disguise of a business opportunity. The player is not the hero. They are the bait. But who's the player? Well, it's none other than Michael Afton, which is heavily implied as Henry addresses him directly in the completion ending, acknowledging that there was a way out, but knowing Michael, he would never take it. Michael has spent his life cleaning up his father's messes. FNAF 6 is the final one, the last straw. Unlike earlier games, FNAF 6 allows you the player to quit early. You can fail, you can be fired, you can avoid the truth, but completion requires acceptance of death. Michael does not fight the fire, he stays. In the completion ending, Henry interrupts Scrap Baby mid-monologue and calls her Elizabeth, forcing her to confront her stolen identity. He addresses Mo and Freddy. He condemns William Afton. He apologizes to Charlotte. When he ignites the fire, this is not a chaotic blaze, it is controlled cremation, a deliberate cleansing, a destruction meant to release every trapped soul and permanently end Fazbear Entertainment wholeworks. Except for one. For the first time in FNAF history, the narrative offers moral clarity. William Afton is damned to hell. The children are freed. The accomplices accept their fate. The cycle is finally broken. And for once, Henry finally affects the storyline. Though the insanity ending refused Henry's plans without completing it, the player learns the truth but fails to act. The animatronics escape. The fire never happens. This ending reinforces FNAF 6 thesis: knowledge without action is meaningless. Fazbear Entertainment survives because people look away. Then we have the classic FNAF ending, where Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator is the narrative tombstone of the original saga. Everything after it, Help Wanted, Security Breach Ruin, exists in a world where the old horror has been buried but not forgotten. The fire does not erase evil, it leaves behind ashes. FNAF 6 is not about jump scares, it is about accountability. It argues that horror does not persist because monsters are unstoppable, but because systems protect them, because corporations prioritize profit, because people choose comfort over truth. Henry chooses fire, Michael chooses sacrifice, the children choose rest, and Fazbear Entertainment, it chooses to survive. Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria Simulator is not just the end of a story, it is a warning. In the word FNAF, monsters are not destroyed by heroes, they're destroyed by people willing to burn everything down, including themselves, to make sure it never happens again.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No. This was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch, listen, and be full.